Hi everyone, welcome to a story time about how I got robbed in Spain. Clearly this is not a video I want to be making, and it's really not funny at all. It's actually very traumatic, but it happened, and so I'm going to acknowledge it and we're going to learn from it together. So just kind of a heads up, somebody stole my purse and it had my GoPro in it, and so I lost a whole trip's worth of footage. So I'm gonna go back, explain the trip we went on with some pictures. So me, my friend Sophia, Sana, and Brad all decided to do a trip to France, and we decided to go south of France, Nice, and then we were able to hit Monaco and Italy, both boom, boom, boom. So first we arrived in Nice. We got there later that night. The flights really weren't too bad expensive. We got there, went to eat at a Greek restaurant pretty late at night. I had some amazing peach tea that I loved. I'm not a big fan of Greek food, but you know, it did look pretty good. The next morning we got up, went to get some delicious French pastries, and oh my goodness, the pastries there were absolutely incredible. There are so many options. They all looked great, and this was also in December, so there's a lot of Christmas themed pastries and decorations all over France. After we got the pastries, we actually headed on a quick train ride to Monaco to spend the whole day exploring Monaco. Here's a list of all the things that we did there. The whole country was beautifully decorated with Christmas decor and just very nice stores. Literally just on random streets you would just see a Gucci. It was incredible, so bougie, so nice. The whole country was very easily walkable. We walked literally everywhere, didn't take a bus or anything once we got there. The garden that we visited was very pretty, very nice, a nice little walk to get to it, and yeah, we just walked through and enjoyed all the cool views, all the plants, the little lakes and things like that. We also decided to head into one of the malls there just to see how nice it was. We really didn't buy anything, but they had like a little cafe in the inside, pretty decorations of course, super expensive restaurants. We went to a supermarket under the whole mall, and that was a little more affordable. We got some snacks there. After that we went down to the harbor and we kind of looked at all the super yachts that were down there. It was insane. Over by the port, they were setting up for a Christmas market that was about to open that day. We didn't get to see that, but we saw them setting up. We saw the Ferris wheel, and we saw all the Christmas decorations getting together, which was cool. We, of course, stopped by the Monte Carlo. We just kind of looked at the outside and all their decorations. We didn't go inside, but it was really cool to see. And then the Paris Cafe we saw, it was really cool too. Everything's cool. And then we headed up and hiked up toward the old town, kind of like the old Monaco, where they have like the Princess Palace, cool overlooks of like the whole country, narrow streets with food vendors and stores and like everything. We ended up getting a pizza over there, some souvenirs, pictures of the cool views and everything. We just kind of did a loop or two around up there. The next day we were back in Nice for the entire day, and we started off getting some breakfast. I got some French toast in France, and oh my gosh, it was so good. They really do it different in France. From there we went to a vintage market that had old-time books, records, maps, just really cool vintage things. I ended up getting 2 small paintings, I think one for Will and one for my dad. And that market was actually right near the beach, so we were able to walk down to the beach and just take a look at the ocean and then the mountains you could see in the background. After that we got hungry again. It seems like we eat a lot, but got some macaroons, and then we headed to another pizza like restaurant and we ate our macaroons, got some really good pizza, and kind of just enjoyed the views of the port in Nice. I refuse to butcher this name, so I'm going to put it right here, but we hiked up to this point, and it was a sunset hike. The sun was setting. We hiked up there. There was a waterfall that you could see, not natural, but pretty waterfall, overlooks the whole city, over the water, the city, the sunset. It was beautiful, and we just took in the sunset and then hiked down before it got too dark. After that, we kind of got ourselves together back at our Airbnb, which was actually an okay Airbnb that we were staying at. The location was good. From there, we headed to the main center where they had a park, and then they had a kind of like a square but they were doing a Christmas market, and so we went in. I think we did have to pay. No, it was free. So we walked in, and then we were able to see some rides. We saw some food, some shop vendors, so we kind of just explored. Actually ended up doing the Ferris wheel. Brad and Sana were freaking out the whole time. It was really funny. I wish I had more videos from that. But so for our last kind of full day, we took the same train we took to Monaco, but we just kept on going to Italy, Ventimiglia, Italy. I hope I'm saying that right. But we decided to spend kind of a half a day there just to be in Italy and explore a new area. This town was like a ghost town. There was not a lot of people. We would walk the streets and the narrow walkways, and there was nobody there. There's a couple restaurants open, but not much. So we did a lot of walking, tried to find somewhere to eat, and we actually ended up finding a really cool restaurant with an insane view, had live music. It was perfect. I got some spaghetti, and it was pretty good. I feel like I could find more authentic Italian spaghetti. The rest of the day we kind of just finished exploring, got a couple souvenirs. Oh, and another thing, there were cats literally everywhere. Any corner we would turn, I feel like we would see an Italian cat just chilling. And of course, before we headed back to the train station, we got some gelato, and it was good. When we got back to France, it was our last night. It was just me and Sophia at this point because Sana and Brad had gone home. We watched the sunset on the beach, and it was awesome. And then we went back to Alcala the next day. Now here's the second part of the story that gets a little more interesting. So December 19th is my birthday, and it was my 22nd birthday, and I didn't really want to stay in Alcala. I wanted to go explore a new place. I wanted to be with people, but it just didn't work out that way. So I was like, I'm going to solo trip this. I did a solo trip to Sevilla, and it was amazing and perfect. And I was like, I haven't been to Granada yet, and it's not that far away. So I was like, let's do a solo trip to Granada, day of my birthday. So I wake up very, very early the morning of my birthday, and I head from Alcala, hop on a train, go to Madrid, and then get on a bus that takes me to Granada. I believe I arrived in Granada around noon, about 12, and I head straight to my hostel to just see if I can check in early, put my stuff somewhere so I don't have to carry my backpack everywhere, because I just had my North Face backpack pretty much. I was staying at the Oasis hostel in Granada, and it was awesome. The people were super nice. There was someone who spoke really well English at the front desk who was very, very helpful, especially later in the story. And yeah, it was a really good hostel. They would put my stuff there, and so I took off exploring because I had booked an excursion for the day. So if you know anything about Granada, Spain, there's an Alhambra that's on the top of a hill, and it has multiple different parts you can go and tour that you kind of need slot times to go, and some parts cost money, like the General Life and the Alhambra itself. So a few days before the trip, I had booked a time to go. So I had a whole itinerary for the day, what I was going, what times, because that's just how I am when I'm traveling, especially by myself, because I can do whatever I want. First of all, the hike up to the Alhambra whole area was so far straight up, it kind of had me out of breath a little bit, especially since I hadn't been working out, but it ended up being fun, cool views of everything. And so I got there, I started in the General Life area, the General Life Gardens, and I kind of just took my time. I explored, I saw some cool views, cool historic buildings. So I was just taking my time up there because I couldn't go to the Alhambra until a certain time. And so I finally make it over to the Alhambra. It was really cool. I saw some amazing buildings, amazing architectural details that were simply perfect. I took a lot of pictures, saw a really cool overlook again of the whole city, took some more pictures. and just enjoyed my birthday. After that, I headed back to the hostel, walked to like a market on the way back, and I kind of just relaxed, got myself together and ready. It was like a little chilly, so I had like a few layers on, but I had booked a flamenco show for that night. I had done a lot of research and saw that flamenco shows in caves were really popular in an area called this. And it's just a very historic part of Granada. You know, there's flamenco shows in restaurants that are in a mountain in like a cave-like setting. So I knew I wanted to do a flamenco show in one of those. And it was also Christmas time, of course, like I said. So I wanted one that kind of like had a Christmas themed flamenco show. And so I ended up booking ahead of time a flamenco show at this place. And they did an amazing job. It's family owned, very small, only a certain amount of people can fit in there, and it wasn't even full. They started at 7:45 p.m. And so here's some really amazing clips from these flamenco dancers. Ended about an hour later, 8:45, it was over, and I had taken a bus to get up to it, just like a city bus to get up to the area because it was raining. And so I was like, it's not raining anymore. After, I'm just gonna, walk back to my hostel because it was maybe a 10-minute walk. And keep in mind, I have never once felt threatened or in a dangerous situation like the entire time I'd been in Spain, from September all the way to December. Everyone's nice. There are weird people everywhere, of course. I mean, there's no excuses. Like, I should not have been walking by myself back to a hostel when it's already dark outside. I definitely acknowledge that. But this is what happened. So I had my phone, had my GPS, and I was just walking, and then I realized, I was like, wait, there's a really cool lookout point, like a couple minutes up the hill out of the way, that's right beside a big church where I can see an overlook of all the city lights. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna add that to my stop and we're gonna go see it, and then I'll go back to my hostel. Anyway, so I'm walking. There was a couple in front of me and I was kind of not following them, but we were going the same direction. I was just checking behind them, and so they had turned the same way I was going to turn. So I was like, okay, cool. I don't want to be too close up on them. I don't want to be creepy. So I stopped and I kind of like updated with my GoPro. I was like, this is what I'm doing. I'm going here. Just like a vlog update like I do. Just talk to myself. And I let them get a little bit further in front of me. And then I kept going. And so I kept walking. Then I see what I thought was the couple. So here are the two walls. There was somebody standing. They were like, their backs were against the two buildings. And so I was like, okay, the couple just stopped to take a break, whatnot. So I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna walk in the middle and just keep going. I'm oblivious, okay? And And they start walking up to me, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. I'm just going to keep going. They walk up to me, and they start talking to me in Spanish. I'm like, what? And they kept being like, bosa, 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 and like pointing at my bag. And I'm like, wait, what? So I look down, and like they're both holding knives. Like, and I'm like, okay, wait. And I start like freaking out, like peeing my pants a little bit. I'm like, okay, wait. And I was like, okay, I wanted to just grab my wallet out of my purse. I was wearing like a Lululemon, like kind of fanny pack satchel. So I wanted to just grab my purse out and just like give them all I had 12 euros in my purse, let's be for real. I didn't have no cash on me. And so I was trying to get in there to give them what they wanted, but they just kept being like, bolsa, bolsa, bolsa. They kept like, and then they started touching the purse, like, give it to me, whatever. And so it's around my body. And so finally I'm just like, I pull it around, it drops to my feet, I step out of it, they grab it, and they take off running. Thankfully, I still have my phone in my hand because I didn't take my phone. And so I'm like, I'm freaking out. And I just start sprinting the complete opposite way of the way that they went. Because I'm like, And so I'm like crying, like freaking out. I'm pretty sure I called Will and my dad. And, you know, my dad is the best dad in the whole world. So he knew exactly what to do. He's like, you need to go get somewhere safe, call the cops. You know, he had everything under control. He was calm. I don't know what I'd do without him. I'd probably be lost. I started kind of like jogging like back to my hostel because it was like 5 minutes away. And so I go in, and you know, the front desk guy is still there, and he is like super kind, super helpful. I kind of just like tell him what happened, like crying. It's my birthday, like this is not supposed to go like this. And anyway, so I call the cops. They don't speak English. They have to get an English translator. And so they show up, and then the hostel guy kind of is translating for me, and they're like, basically, like, you're going to have to go tomorrow to the police station and make a report. And then I realized that my GoPro's in there, my wallet's in there. The wallet does have an air tag in there, so I track it. I'm like, okay, where is it? Like, I'm going to hunt you down. Just kidding. Like, I did not do that, obviously, but I told the police that, and they were like, you're just gonna have to go tomorrow and make a report. Like, they did absolutely nothing to go track it or anything, which was very frustrating. So the next day, I look at where the location is, and it's in like a plaza. I tried to look through all the trashes around the plaza, all the bushes and everything, just to see if they maybe like took the money and just left the purse somewhere, but I couldn't find it anywhere. And honestly, like, the wallet was not a big deal because I can get new driver's license and like all of these things, but I cannot get a new GoPro, and I cannot get all of the footage that was on their back, and that's what really like hurt me the most. So anyways, I go to the police station, I make a report. The guy speaks a little bit English, so we were like kind of communicating. He was asking me questions, and that was it. And so my dad's like, I'm gonna get you a flight back home, because I wasn't supposed to leave until a day or two later, and I was gonna take a bus back home. And so my dad's like, no, like, I think you should go back. Keep in mind, this was December 20th. Like, I was literally flying home in 3 days and this happened to me. So on the 20th, my dad booked me a flight back to Madrid later that night. And so I had the rest of the day in Granada. So I was honestly scared to go anywhere. Every time someone would walk past me, like, I'd look at them. Even during the day, like, it was just scary. So after the police station, I went to a bank where my dad had sent me some money, thankfully, so I could have some cash on me because I had nothing on me. Thankfully, my passport was at the hostel, so I did have my passport with me. But anyway, besides the point, I picked up my cash, and then I was like, you know, I'm hungry, so I went and found a Thai restaurant because that's my comfort food, and I got it to go, and I took it back to the hostel, and I ate it. And then I finally worked up because I had gotten no souvenirs or anything from Granada yet. So I worked up the courage to go outside and walk down a few of the vendor streets. And then I saw the cathedral, saw a few more Christmas decorations, and then I had originally planned to go to a spa, like a bathhouse, this bathhouse. And so I was like, you know what, like, I think I could still do this before my flight. Like, It's kind of like one of the bathhouses where you literally just relax, like, and it gives you a massage. And I think I paid like $60 for this, and it was like 2 hours, 1 hour of massage, 1 hour of just like enjoying the relaxing baths. And honestly, that experience was amazing. It's not as much of a bath as it is of a pool. So they had like a cold pool, a medium, like warm pool, and then 2 hot pools that you could like just relax and enjoy. And then they had tea that you could drink too. So that was really nice, especially after such a long night that I had before. So I did that, and then I headed to the airport, and then I flew back to my lovely Madrid and took an Uber to Alcala. And then I spent the next couple days packing and getting the rest of the things I needed to get while in Spain, and that pretty much wraps up my study abroad experience. I definitely went out with a bang, something I will never forget, negatively and positively, and that's the end of my study abroad chapter. And now I have a really fun few videos coming up in the spring and summer. So if you're watching from all my Spain content, it's now going to transition to other really cool adventures. So please keep watching if you want. Thank y'all for watching.